The moment my crush said yes, the room seemed to tilt, like the universe had leaned closer just to hear my heart crack open. I had rehearsed that moment in my head for years, imagined fireworks or relief, or the soft landing of finally being chosen. Instead, the word landed heavy, wrapped in something I couldn't name yet, something that made my stomach sink even as my pulse screamed victory. It was a yes that carried weight, a yes that asked for courage I didn't know I had, and it would change everything I thought love was supposed to be. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet ways people save each other, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. My name is Nathan Cole, and this happened in a small riverside town in Oregon where the rain teaches patience and the streets remember your footsteps. I had been in love with Hannah Pierce since the day she walked into the community center carrying boxes of donated coats, her hair tied back like she was ready to work, her eyes soft but focused. She volunteered every Saturday, the kind of person who remembered names and listened with her whole body. I was the guy who fixed broken chairs and patched walls, the one who stayed invisible because invisibility felt safer. We talked in small ways over years, smiles exchanged over coffee-stained tables, nods of recognition that never crossed the line into hope. I told myself that love could be quiet and still be real, that wanting from a distance was noble, but distance can become a habit, and habits can become regrets. The challenge wasn't just her, it was me. I had grown up learning how to shrink, how to accept less so I wouldn't lose what little I had. My father had left early, my mother worked herself thin, and I learned to be useful instead of brave. When I finally decided to tell Hannah how I felt, it wasn't because I felt strong. It was because I felt tired of hiding. Life has a way of pressing you toward the edge until jumping feels safer than standing still. The night I asked her was nothing like the movies. No candles, no dramatic skyline. Just the community center, after hours. The hum of the vending machine, the smell of disinfectant and rain-soaked coats. I said the words clumsily, my voice steady only because fear had numbed it. I told her that I liked her, that I had for a long time, that I didn't expect anything except honesty. When she looked at me, I saw something flicker across her face that wasn't surprise. It was relief mixed with worry, like someone who had been waiting for a door to open while fearing what was behind it. She said yes, but not in the way I expected. The yes came with a reason that felt like a mirror turned on my own life. She wasn't saying yes because she was ready for romance or because she had secretly loved me back all along. She was saying yes because she was drowning and needed a hand, and she trusted me to be gentle. Her father, Marcus Pierce, had been battling an illness that turned stability into a daily negotiation. Bills piled up, responsibilities multiplied, and Hannah had become the anchor for everyone but herself. She needed a partner who understood patience, who wouldn't demand more than she could give, someone who would walk beside her without pushing her forward. Her yes was a leap toward safety, not fireworks. I went home that night with a knot in my chest that refused to loosen. Part of me wanted to run, to protect my heart from being a temporary shelter. Another part whispered that love doesn't always arrive wearing certainty. Sometimes it arrives asking if you're willing to grow into it. The struggle that followed was quiet and constant. I had to decide whether I could accept being chosen for the right reasons, even if they weren't the romantic ones I had dreamed of. I had to confront my own hunger for validation, and ask whether care could be enough to start something true. The weeks that followed were a study in restraint. We moved slowly, our time filled with ordinary acts that felt sacred because of their intention. We grocery shopped with coupons and cooked simple meals. I learned the rhythm of hospital hallways and the way Hannah's shoulders tensed when doctors spoke in careful tones. There were days when she was present, and days when grief wrapped around her like fog. I struggled with jealousy of a future I couldn't see, of a love that hadn't arrived yet. But every time I considered stepping back, I noticed how she relaxed when I entered the room, how the chaos softened around us. Change didn't arrive with a single revelation. It came in increments, in the way Hannah began to laugh again, in the way Marcus squeezed my hand with gratitude that didn't need words. It came when I realized that my usefulness had transformed into something braver. I wasn't hiding anymore. I was choosing, every day, to stay. The more I stayed, the less the reason for her yes mattered. What mattered was the life we were building between hospital visits and community center shifts, the trust growing quietly like moss after rain. The turning point came one afternoon by the river where the town gathers to remember itself. We sat on a bench watching the water carry leaves downstream, and I felt a calm I had never known. I understood then that love isn't always a reward for courage. Sometimes it's the training ground. Hannah wasn't using me to escape her pain. She was inviting me into it, trusting that I wouldn't make it heavier. That trust was the most romantic thing I had ever been given. By the time spring arrived, Marcus's health had stabilized, and the weight Hannah carried had shifted. She began to dream again, small dreams at first, like taking a weekend off or enrolling in a course she had postponed. Our relationship changed with her circumstances, not because it had to, but because it could. Affection grew naturally, unforced, like a conversation that deepens once both people feel safe enough to speak honestly. I learned that being chosen for steadiness can turn into being chosen for love, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it through presence. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love can start in unexpected places and still become something beautiful, please take a moment to engage with this video. Your support keeps these stories alive. Just before the ending, I want to ask you something special. Please comment the word hope if you believe that doing the right thing, even when it's hard, can lead to something extraordinary. Today, when I think back to that first yes, I'm grateful it wasn't what I expected. If it had been easy, I might have mistaken excitement for commitment and missed the deeper gift waiting beneath. Hannah and I learned to love in a way that honored reality, not fantasy. We learned that kindness is not a consolation prize, and second chances are not signs of weakness. They are the quiet miracles that happen when two people decide to meet each other where they are and walk forward together. In a world obsessed with instant sparks, our story became a slow-burning light, steady enough to guide us home.